Hello and welcome back to some more Mortal Shell 2. We left off last time having landed at Widow's Overlook after completing the prologue. I am going to keep this preamble a little short and we will just get right on into it. So we have a couple different ways we can go. We can either go north up this hill or we can go east. If we pull up our map, we can go east and get this shell here. We are going to be going east because that is both the intended route for early game and also contains quite a few items that we are going to need and will want to pick up early, like being able to upgrade our sidearms and our tar stones, which we will get to shortly. So for now, we are going to go pick up this gold. And right over here is another readable object. So heading on down the hill, we can see our first mini-boss here. Now, this dude is entirely optional and is quite easy to dodge around, so if you are not comfortable fighting him right now, you can always come back. However, we are going to fight him because he's here. So he's got this big ol' sword that does a lot of damage. He's got that haymaker attack. He's got this overhead, and we're just going to do 2 hits. That is a grab. Do not dodge backwards. Dodge anywhere other than backwards. He can also do a fake attack, which he will then go into a... Okay, let's get out of here. Just like that. You can either do an overhead or a horizontal attack out of that fake. Just get a quick riposte. Unload on him while he's getting up. He's going to do something. 2 hits. We got a stagger, so we can get a third in. 1, 2. And there we got a little bit greedy. If his windup is really fast, he's going to do the fake attack. And there we go. Nice and simple. So here we have our first tar stone. In this case, an infusion. Just go ahead and equip it. We can buff our weapon with Blood Curse. It builds up and then does a good chunk of damage to the enemy. And where is that item? This we will use to light that lantern on top of the keep. Collect some more burnt effigies, and the important item here is this revered gland. Now we're gonna head on back to the beacon and turn that in, and we will get another use of our healing item. But before we do, we are gonna go around this ledge here and pick up another mushroom. And since we're here, we might as well do a quick level up. We can go ahead and leave this on just for ease of viewing. The other skins are quite dark. And we'll just go ahead and improve our capacity here. And then we'll hop into this already cleansed beacon. Cannot remember if I did this at the end of the last episode. I did not. This gives us our first glimpse, which we will use to upgrade shells. So next, we are gonna go over to this ruined building here. And we'll clear these guys out first. Once again, trying to keep a little bit of distance and not get surrounded. Just one more, guys. Where did he go? Oh. Get another burnt effigy. Always useful. And we're gonna head down into this little dungeon here. Set this back up in case we get owned. Those fat guys are a little bit harder to stagger. And there we were able to use our superior reach to stun him and essentially take the advantage of combat. Now here we will hit this little button, and that gate will open. Before we go in, we'll just clear out the rest of the enemies here. As you can see, he just tanks those shotgun hits. But he staggered on the third hit. They have this beard attack. They have several. They can be quite dangerous if you keep trying to parry it and then you just keep getting hit, because they do a lot of hits. But they don't have a lot of, they don't have a big stagger bar, so it's usually not too bad. So here we have one of these automatically respawning, resolve tentacles. Which means the game probably wants us to use resolve in some way. Like that. So here we have the obsidian lathe. We will bring this back to Franz in order to be able to upgrade our sidearms. We also got another tar stone, the parasitic stone. If we kill things while with it equipped, we get stacks of leech, which will increase our max health. These will persist until we die. So even if you unequip the stone, the game will remember how many stacks you had, so if you re-equip it, then you will get all of your stacks back. Assuming you haven't died in between unequipping and re-equipping it. Very handy. Here we have more of these bats, and we just remove them with the shotgun. We'll just make a little bit of distance here. Get some damage out. As you can see, I'm quite comfortable just diving in there because I hit all of them and flinched all of them. I'm just gonna walk back over here, grab this, and this is right where the beacon is. Got more of these bats. There's one here. So go ahead and get rid of them. So first things, we are going to deal with this block. We will go up that jump pad in just a sec. here we have our first map. Now, when you pick up your first map in either region, the north and or the south, it will highlight the 3 corrupted gates in the region. Those are our primary objective. We'll just go ahead and drop down, negate the fall damage, and get rid of this thing. Yeah, so there I did not respect what the enemy was doing and was punished. We'll just walk right back on over. We are not going to mess around with any heavy attacks. We will just R1 it to death. Okay, this one is aggroed. And we will come up this hill here. Mind the bear traps. They will work on your enemies too. Pick up some common moonshine. And we will head back down into this flooded area and into this fenced off little cemetery.
I did not wish to harm another soul, yet the malady kept gnawing at my flesh. There was a remedy. Nectar, some called it. But I had no coin. What choice did I have?
So here we have our first shell. This is going to make us a lot more comfortable, as we will not just we will not just be sent back to the beacon if we die. We have the option to revive our shell.
Locked. There you are. Empty.
Shit, Teal! What are you doing here?
Look at me. Your remedy. I need more.
I see. The rash has worsened. But I'm afraid more would be unwise. It's quite potent.
We'll see about that.
Please, you're going to hurt yourself.
I'm already hurting. What's the difference?
Alright. So Teal is a stealth-based, dodge-based shell. He goes invisible and stabs things really hard. So here we have another combat infusion. It is incompatible with the parasitic stone as it takes up the same slot. This allows our melee attacks to inflict perforation, which makes the afflicted enemy take more damage from our next sidearm attack. This is much better on faster weapons as it inflicts a flat amount of stacks per hit, so no matter what weapon you are using, it will always apply the same number of stacks. And equipping tar stones and leveling them up by killing enemies is extremely important. I will get to why once we start upgrading them, but you are going to want to level up basically all of them to level 2. So next we are going into this little dungeon right inside Teal's graveyard. We have more shield enemies. We have another one of these snakebeard dudes. Show off Teal's ability, where we turn invisible, and then a light attack will make us teleport at him. And go ahead and look around this corner and see this man waiting for us. Alright, now up here is a new enemy. This big snake eel thing. They have 2 attacks. That long tongue, which can be parried, and they have a grab attack. Let's see if I can get this thing to use it. There it is. And just back dodge right before it comes down. Quite an easy attack to avoid. Unless you have a really big hit, the snakes do not like to stagger. So you are better off just playing a little bit more defensive against them. Here we have yet another trap the enemies have set for us. Go ahead and just remove these enemies really quick. We will get to this event in the center in a second. For now, we will just come up here and pick up another burnt effigy. And that is another trick you can do with staggered enemies, is if you aren't facing them directly on, or you use a heavy attack, you can hit them and then get your riposte, just for a little bit of extra damage. Not always necessary, but it can really help your damage out. So we're going to go ahead and begin this trial in a second. What it will do is it will unfreeze the frozen enemies around it. And we can see we have one of these block things, a tree, and another one of these block things. So this really shouldn't be too bad if we can just burst down 1 or 2 of the enemies. So it looks like the blocks are first. As you can see, I'm really trying to get one of them down because otherwise they just keep attacking and attacking and attacking. It makes trying to deal with them a bit of a pain. We're going to go ahead and heal because this tree can hit kind of hard. Once again, moving left and right mostly. Good. Poke him. Luckily, we got a stun there. That is a grab. A little early. There we had Teal's passive ability proc, which allows us to go invisible when we do a well-timed dodge. So now we will pick up a reward from this trial, which was another glimpse. Go ahead and use our mushroom for a little bit of healing. I'm okay trading a little bit of damage there because we have our mushroom healing us over time. Get some money from the chest. And we will pick up this item, which is another Ventrium. And that's pretty much it for this place. Get some. Get some more resolve on the way out. And we can leave. Alright, so after being flashbanged by the sun, we are going to go take a right out of this cemetery, demolish this bat, and we are going to go into this town here. Teal's ability will knock down smaller enemies like that. We are kind of getting out here. Now, we can go back and rest at this at the beacon, but I am going to push on just a little bit further into this town. Now, that accordion player there is buffing all of those enemies, so we will want to deal with that as quickly as possible. And we will try to do a little bit of crowd control, get them in front of us, and in a bit more of an advantageous position for us. Just like that. Pick up a mushroom. And another mushroom. Here we need 3 offerings to open this chest. So we will come up here. Light 1 offering. Come up here and grab some gold.
I left my offering as instructed. It's out on the banister. Now, leave me alone.
Grab a burnt effigy from this little side area. We have offering number 2 right up here. At the top of this hill, we have another mushroom. We have a beacon. And next to these 2 revelers here, we have our 3rd effigy. And another mushroom. So now that we have all 3 lit, we can go back down to that chest to picking up more burnt effigies and gold. And collect our reward. Which is a glimpse and the auspicious stone, which gives melee critical chance. Now, this is a support stone, and it goes in this bottom row here. We are pretty much going to have this on the entire game, unless we are doing something a little bit more with ranged weapons, which I will show off at some point. But for now, we're going to head back up the hill to the beacon, and so that we can rest and cleanse it. Go ahead and level up. Just kidding. That was rude. Once again, always check before you drop off a ledge. Down this upgrade item, which is another laterite. We have a second enemy who is hiding. Why did that do no damage? I guess I missed. And just around this corner, we have a chest with the Ember Seed Stone, which is an infusion, this time for our sidearm, that inflicts burn. Go ahead and turn that on. And we have this little encounter here. Now, those goobers with the staves will shoot poison at you, and they will heal nearby enemies. As you can see, this big guy is being healed. Now, there's not a ton to talk about with this big guy. He has that unblockable multi-slam attack, and most of his attacks are quite easy to avoid. He's got this big ol' swings, and you can kind of just dodge to the left or right. The only thing to be really worried about is if he actually does hit you, it is going to hurt. Now, we'll take out his backup dancers so they're not healing him constantly and shooting poison at us. See if we can get a hit, and then the riposte for a little bit extra damage. Go ahead and cleanse this beacon, and there's nothing else we need to collect here. So we will go ahead and hit this level up screen. and talk a little bit about upgrading shells. You spend glimpses at the shell keeper to level up your shells. There are a total of 12 passive abilities that you can put points into. For instance, this one buffs Teal Shadow Strike. This one gives him more shadow stacks from his abilities, which make you invisible for longer. And this gives him poison resistance and stuff. Pretty simple stuff. We will not be using Teal in this playthrough, but I just wanted to show that off for now. And next, we are gonna head to the left of the beacon through this path here, and
A brigand.
have a chat with these interesting
Stink
fellows.
of coin, I hear your belly speak.
So the last thing we are going to buy is that cage key.
By salt or fire.
But we want to make sure we purchase everything from this shop before we purchase the cage key and open that cage. We should have some... yeah, okay. So we are going to go back to the keep and turn in our upgrade items to Franz and turn in these merchant items to Merrick. And that will allow us to upgrade our sidearms and give us enough gold to get the Grisha Remnant and a cage key.
Welcome back, Skullface. Hope you brought more coin this time around.
So here we can purchase maps to every single weapon in the game. Here he sells a variety of very important items. These are going to be good to pick up early, as more healing and better healing is always appreciated. And he sells a couple of tar stones. For now, I'm just going to sell to him.
Come back again.
And then we are gonna go turn the obsidian lathe into Franz.
Just when you arrived. You must have something pure obsidianite. It's almost maddening to behold. I must work quickly. Now, let's see what she can do for your armaments. Easy does it.
Now, I am not going to upgrade my items right now, because I would like to purchase the Greaser Remnant and the Cage Key before I forget. So we are just going to head on back down to the Shellkeeper.
Is that the thief? Let us discover his purpose together.
So from shell bonding, we can put glimpses into a shell. You cannot refund these, and glimpses are a limited resource, so be a little picky with when you choose to spend these, which is why we will not be really leveling up Teal for this playthrough, as we are not going to use him. And here you can also assign abilities. You can also do this from the level up screen at the beacon. gonna head.
May the Mother shelter you.
We are going to drop off some of our ovum since we are here. And head back up to the roof where...
You might be the harbinger, but you're a bad...
Yeah, he's gonna do that like every time. We're gonna head back up to the roof and light that lantern.
Who dares to seek the night? It's you, isn't it? The Harbinger. I've been waiting for you. You may call me Festus. I was told you'd come, bearing the flame. I have struck in accord with your mother. I will serve her and you, as I once did your kin. With this flame, you may seek greater challenges under the pallor of night. Shall I call the night? It will make for a perilous hunt, but the rewards shall be far better. That is what you seek, is it not?
So, we can talk to this dude to change the game from day to night. As you can see, it is now dark, it is now raining. This gives enemies increased health and damage, and also increases the amount of gloom they drop. We are just going to leave this off. There are a couple of things that are only accessible in night mode, so we will be utilizing it a bit. But for now, daytime will suffice. We're going to go ahead and catapult ourselves back on over to the Mushroom Village. And I am going to check my map real quick. Okay, so now we are going to hang a right, and we are going to head on over to that big old bonfire. Not too bad. We'll come on over to this tree for a little bit more gold. And here we have our first illusion gate. So as we can see, there is nothing really going on here. But if we come around this side... Look that interesting. So we'll go ahead and walk through the gate and collect the chapel key. We head across this bridge here. We will find this little marker. It's talking about revealing things in darkness. This is one of the night mode only little dungeons, which we will come back to eventually. For now, we are gonna... Can I make it a crossing? Let's find out. Yes. Drop down there. And now we're back at the base of the village. Can dodge those bushkas and head back on up to the hunter merchant.
A brigand, I hear your belly speak. It hungers. The pup is yours.
Alright, so the Grisha remnant basically will spawn a Grisha randomly when we attack. It is hilarious. We'll go ahead and open this cage. And we will come back to this area in a second to deal with the rest of that event. Pick up some more gold at this tent here. And get another upgrade stone. Next we are going to take a trip into this chapel. Go ahead and load our gun. Here we've got a bunch of dudes, including some of those poison frog dudes. One thing to note about Burn is that smaller enemies like this will often flail around if you light them on fire. A little bit of a bad demonstration because he exploded, but... Alright, so here we have this wall here. We can't really get through. But if we take a look at this statue and just walk backwards, it lets us through. And here we have our first ghost. They're pretty easy. They flinch at basically everything, and you can kind of just attack them until they die. Let one out. They do have this overhead. They have quite a long time between their attacks. And here we will just hit this. And then we will hit it this way. Wrong way. And then we will hit it this way. This will open a wall. Not sure how long these guys have been trapped in here. I'll hit this one. Send it over there. We will send the other one right on after it. And we'll hit the second one more time. And unlock the gate. Here we have our first new weapon, the axe and dagger. We have a light attack, pretty simple, and our heavy attacks are as follows. We have our running light, very good attack, lots of hits, good for applying debuffs, and our running heavy. Just this flying leap attack. We'll go ahead and use this for a little bit. Go ahead and equip some tar stones. We will actually equip the perforation and the bleed, because this weapon is quite good at applying the perforation. Next, we will head back to the beacon. Rest real quick. Can we level? No. We will need to reload the area for that event to progress. So we will just come down over here, pick up some money, and take this short little bridge right here.
Helga! Some useless gits here for you.
Not now. I'm busy.
Here we have a leveled up our burnt effigy.
You heard the lady. Piss off. You heard the lady. Piss off. Tarsum.
Ignore him. He must stew. Now, be gone. Now. No touch. Harwald is very sensitive.
No, I have no idea what's going on here. Here we have a corruption wall. We need to collect enough ovum, and then we can remove those at will. So we will be coming back here in a little bit. For now, we are going to go back over this bridge because we want to deal with the spear lady before the giant praying mantis monstrosity. Now, I would recommend trying to do as much damage to this thing in a short amount of time as possible, because this thing is fast and it hits really, really hard, as you can see. Alright, now that it's dead, we can take a look around the area. That thing is very, very evil. Pick up a coin of mammon, a burnt effigy, and if we stand right here, we can pick up another burnt effigy. So, before we go exploring off over there, we will grab this beacon here. Appears there is a moth in my room. Alright, so we're going to rest at this beacon, and we will cleanse that in a second. Now, mercifully, the praying mantis thing does not respawn. So we are just gonna... Can we make it here? Yes, we can. Wait for him to shoot. Drop down. Take him out. Take him out. And take him out. Gonna pick up some money, which is always appreciated. I'll head back across this bridge. And over to the other side. We have another trial here. We are not going to start this yet. I'd like to clear out some of these. I don't know what these things are called. I'm going to continue to call them blocks. Alright, now that that problem is solved, we can take a look at this trial here. We have what appears to be a big hammer dude, 2 goobers, and another big hammer dude. Let's clear out these guys just in case we accidentally aggro them at some point. That would be not fun. We have the Marksman's Stone, which is the same as the Auspicious Stone, but for ranged weapons. Here we have another corruption barrier that we cannot pass through. So let's just go do the trial. I am going to equip this in my passive slot, just in case we get to spawn a Grisha and show it off. So the other guy has also spawned, but we were able to deal with the one very quickly. So this is really just 2 one-on-ones. Go ahead and buff our weapon. And absolutely demolish him with those perforation stacks. Ah, there we have the Grisha spawn, which unfortunately didn't really do a whole lot. Collect a Ventrium as our reward. And now we will go back, level up, and cleanse the beacon. Oh, I got them all. Alright, send the elevator back up. Now these snake ladies will dodge your attacks, so try to catch them when they are in the middle of doing something and are unable to dodge. here, we can just go through this illusion gate here. Foil this attempted ambush. And go through this one. So this is just a fake wall. We can hit it, and it disappears. Now, unfortunately, we appear to be trapped. Right, now this guy is not too bad. He shoots out those little skull baby things, and he has this triple poke. Can also do a single poke that's just that third hit. He's really not too bad. So we can cash out on our perforation. Whiffed. So now he spawns a bunch of clones of himself. The clones die in one hit, but they do very real damage. Okay, one of these, I believe we are just down to the real one. No. Okay. Yep. Out on our perforation. Cash out on our perforation. And easy does it. Here we get the volatile fragment, which is our combat infusion for our sidearm that causes enemies to explode. So by cleansing that beacon, we have unlocked the gate. Go ahead and pick up these glimpses and level up before I forget. Never mind. Actually, I am going to return to the keep and upgrade now that I have a little bit of gold.
Find anything else out there? Anything special?
Let's put a couple points into this. And continue. Okay, we cannot level up our melee weapon, so we'll go ahead and put another point in our sidearm because, well, we can at least get more damage to buff with the perforation. Cannot fast travel yet, so we will have to go back up to the roof.
Eggbringer.
Actually, let us buy one of the...
Welcome back, Skullface. Hope
Rare findings. Let's get a second one.
Come back again.
And we are going to launch ourselves to the Mushroom Village Gate. Now, the reason we are doing this gate in particular, is that the forge upgrade to level up your tar stones is within, and leveling up your tar stones as early as possible is quite important. Here we have an exploding dude who hit some tripwires. And we are going to proceed a little carefully. So we do that, and that. And here we have the frog lady. She is basically just a bigger version of the dudes with the frog staffs that shoot poison at you. Except she's got a couple new moves like that one. But the general rule is just dodge to the side and you'll be fine. It's got a sweeping 2-hit. Once again, just dodge into the attack. And there we have the exploding enemies on the tar stone. Pick up a tar spore for a little bit more poison resistance when we get enough of them. And we are gonna go ahead and actually equip this one as the passive and equip the poison one as the active. Because this area likes to poison you, and if you get a whole bunch of poison stacks, it is not a fun time. I want to kill one of these as fast as possible before he starts getting healed. And you can use enemies as effective meat shields. Alright. Quite smooth. Here we need more offerings. Go ahead and buff my weapon. Here we have one of these, I really don't know what these things are. They kind of just die. Like, they can't move, and they flinch at pretty much everything. You can kind of just hit them. Here we have another spear lady. Stun her real quick. So it's a little hard to see, but the dude in the back got lit on fire and started flailing around because he was on fire. Oof. Okay. A little greedy of me there. ahead and shoot those because they explode and do a bajillion damage, and if you get hit by it, you are going to be very sad. Here we have one of these guys. Kind of just kill him in the cage. While that dissipates, we will come around behind and pick up a bunch of tar spores and level it up in the process, so we now have 2 uses. Very handy. Go ahead and slap the lock off the cage. Get our first offering. Come on over to this ritual site, and the second offering is on one of these pillars. And the third offering is on the railing of this balcony. Our reward: the Siegebreaker's Stone. Range attacks deal more stagger damage. As we go to leave, something about this doesn't seem right, so we can hit our lock on, and there is something hanging from the roof. Now, this enemy is very fast and very aggressive, however, it is made of tissue paper. So here we have a, well, not quite shiny beacon, but we can fix that. Go ahead and revitalize it. Upgrade our Mother's Pulse, which we totally did not forget to do. And we will cleanse this beacon. Alright, so we have been locked in. And before we drop down, we can see there is 1, 2, 3, and it won't lock on, but we can see the large frog lady. So go ahead, drop. Buff. Probably should have done that beforehand, but hindsight is 20/20. Go ahead and stun all of them, and she is healing them, which is, well, not the greatest. Ow. One down. She is healing them, so I'm pretty safe to just go to town, as she is not going to be attacking. Creating a lot of damage with the axe and dagger. The lack of range is really felt. Dude. Alright, so that got a little dicey at the end, but we made it through. We will cleanse the corruption, but not immediately leave. We are instead going to come over here, where this wall of corruption has dissipated, and collect a synaptic vessel in order to make our healing items better. And now that the beacon has been cleansed, we'll go ahead and level up. And before we move on, I am going to open the map, and we'll go ahead and mark this complete, and this complete, just so I don't forget to do so. So now we're gonna head on over this way, across the bridge. We have one of these snake things. Stun it. post. And turn it into chunky salsa. I didn't get a good connection, but the shotgun is quite effective at dealing with these little poison carrier dudes. Because the last thing you want is one of them exploding in your face. It is not fun, and having like 20 stacks of poison will do you in very quickly. So there is the entrance to the swamp. We are going to come down this way because there is quite the important item down here. Careful of these glowing green effigies. They will explode and launch everything that gets hit by them and deal a lot of poison to anything that gets hit by them. It is not a good time. Alright, so up here we have more of these poison goobers. And there, one has exploded in my face, and I am not happy. Because I am poisoned and covered in goop. So here we have 2 snakes, which is quite a bit more dangerous than just one. So we want to try to isolate them and take one of them out as quickly as we can. There we get a heavy attack with both of them, and let us get away from this just a bit, and now we have stabilized the fight. Go. Stuff up in the terrain there. And that's that. Get some more tar spores here. And here. Come over here for our prize. The Shrike Stone. This thing is fantastic. It is only equipable on the Iconoclast and the Katanas. So we will go ahead and re-equip the Iconoclast. So this is essentially a dive bomb attack that gives you a ton of iframes. It won't stop you from taking damage from like poison, but you can essentially invalidate an enemy's really annoying attack, and then it does a ton of damage when you land, and it's stun, like it'll knock things down and disrupt enemies. It is a fantastic ability. So now we're just going to go to the other end of the swamp. And see if we can't get stone. Ow. Alright, so now we have the stone shock. We can cast the stones. Do so. And you are basically invincible during that entire animation from as soon as you input the attack. Very strong, and we will be using that until we get our desired weapon. So we don't have enough to level up, so we're just going to cleanse the beacon. So here we have looks to be 3 enemies. And we'll go ahead and use the stone. It does cost a lot of resolve before you upgrade it, but even at its full cost, it is still a really, really good ability. Here, we're just gonna come back up the scaffolding. Managed to hit both of them there, which allows us to continue to be aggressive. Right. Since we have one of these resolve tentacles, I'm gonna show off something you can do with them. So we have buffed our weapon, and then we can hit the tentacle, get a resolve back, buff our weapon again, and get it back. However, this doesn't, you cannot get both of your weapons buffed up like this, so if I were to buff my sword, I now have 4 hits of bleed on it, and I were to hit this, it removes it. So we'll just keep our sidearm buffed. Here we have another laterite. And before we cross this bridge, we can see 1 spear lady, 2 spear ladies, and a dude with a hammer. So we're going to take out the spear lady on the left first. As we can see, the elevator platform is right there, and we are going to want to activate that.
You on your mind.
Go ahead and send this back down, just in case we die and have to come back here. And now we can deal with this encounter. So I want to get rid of the spear lady first because she is squishier, and I would like to focus exclusively on the big guy. Now, don't dodge backwards against that. I got somewhat lucky there. Dodging backwards is asking to get hit by a long, thin hitbox. I didn't get punished there because he just missed. So get another laterite. Drop down here. Here we'll just drag a snake through the poison. And drag ourselves through the poison as well. Just for funsies. ahead and open this and get the corroded stone. Projectiles deal damage over time after hitting their target. We will not be using this with the shotgun. It just does not do very much damage. If the dot has time to work its magic, the enemy probably has too much health to care, and if it does do enough damage to matter, you probably killed them way before the dot does any meaningful amount of damage. At least on the nail shot. So we'll go ahead and level up. Just kidding. We will go ahead and take these guys out as corruption has been cleansed. So you can see I have a lot of poison stacks, so I'm just going to use my mushroom so I don't take 30 million damage from having a lot of poison stacks. And get a revered gland. So we check our Methods Pulse, and we cannot actually buff it because we now need 2 revered glands in order to level up our healing item. So we'll just head across this bridge to this totally non-suspicious shepherd. The gimmick with this fight is to hit the glowing red goats. They build up his stagger meter. Now he is stunned. We can get a hit in before the post. Play well. Absolutely waste our strike stone. Going to be very annoying with that sword. But just keep moving around and try to avoid that distortion effect, which is what turns us into a sheep. So he's stunned again. Hit him. And post. We'll go ahead and give him a shot. Hit the post. Kick him while he's down. So we get the sheep head totem, which turns us into a sheep. And we'll go ahead and head on back to the stone, because next up we have the final boss of this area. And we should level up first, as I have a lot of items. I missed some mushrooms, so we'll go ahead and drop down and pick those up real quick. And then we will head back on over into the shepherd's enclosure. And get ourselves through.
You've come far. the matron will not be pleased. She once protected these lands, the eggs too, until she was gravely wounded by some strange, tentacled creature. In time, she healed with the help of those frog lickers. But she paid dearly. You'll see what remains of her.
Alright, so Rook has given us a little bit of information about the boss. And here we have our etching needles, which is how we upgrade our tar stones. Now, dropping down here, we are committed to fighting this boss, and I forgot to level up. Get some more tar spores. I am going to go ahead and equip the moonshine in my active slot so that I can regenerate some mana when I need to. Now here we have a summoning mechanic. This is only for very specific bosses, the end of beacon, or not beacon, gate bosses. In order to summon them, you have to spend a glimpse to unlock that. You only have to spend this glimpse once, but given how limited glimpses are, you should definitely try the boss a few times before summoning to assist with it. Depending on the summon, they can do damage, or sometimes they're basically just there so the boss is swinging at something else. I will summon for this boss just to demonstrate the mechanic, but for the most part, I will not be doing so. So we'll go ahead and spin the glimpse. And drop on in. Alright, so now we must fight the average Walmart shopper. I am not going to be really using my ranged weapon or anything this fight because I really want to hold my energy for the Shrike Stone because I have a lot of trouble dodging this boss. Let's go ahead and use the Shrike Stone there. We need to be somewhat aggressive against this boss in order to stun it. As you can see, I am kind of getting destroyed. There we have stunned it, and so hoping to get maybe another hit in, but a riposte is a riposte. There we have just gotten absolutely rinsed by this boss. Spin. We'll go ahead and use our moonshine. Soon she is going to summon babies, and it turns this fight into an absolute cluster. The babies will jump it all over the place. Go ahead and get Smart back. Heal. The babies die in one hit, but they are just annoying. Thankfully, the boss does get a little bit less aggressive here. summons this big old cloud of bugs. We dodge through it. Dodge through the bugs. And take her out. A little messy, but a victory is a victory. So here we have Magdalena's Memento, which is a unique tar stone for the axe and dagger. Much like the Shrike Stone, it is active. So we will go ahead and equip this to the axe and dagger to show it off. So my screen is covered in bugs, and I don't like that. So we'll go ahead and activate it. Does a big ol' spin. Costs a lot of resolve right now. If you buff your weapon and you have an active ability, it will imbue that active ability with whatever status or element that your weapon is buffed with. So if I were to use this now, it leaves this nasty blood puddle on the ground. Same with if we equip the Iconoclast. And then we use our Shrike Stone. This is a big old blood burst. Go ahead and level up. And cleanse his beacon.
Yes, you know your purpose. Bring the Over back to me.
Alright, so now we find ourselves...
I'm glad the lady shall not trouble us anymore. Well done, Harbinger.
As I was saying, we find ourselves back at the keep. We will drop off our Ova here at the Gloom Siphon, which gives us the Metra's Breath. This allows us to fast travel and cleanse corruption. We're gonna go ahead and head on up here and give...
What's that I hear clinking? With these, she can pierce even the hardest rock, even tar stones. Well, let's see.
And we can now level up our tar stones. I do not believe I have anything that is.
If we fixed her
up. So the tar stones, when they gain enough XP, you level them up here, and the tar forge will spit out a item called a tar core, and you use the tar cores to take tar stones from level 2 to level 3. That is why it's important to level up as many as possible, because you need to level them up in order to get the better upgraded material. We have enough to level. We do, in fact, have enough to level, so we are going to do so. And we are going to head on over to Merrick before we end this episode.
Welcome to my humble shop. I've got whatever you need. For a
and
price,
we are going to locate the Great Martyr's Blade, which is the weapon that I am going to be using for the majority of this playthrough. We will go ahead and drop a pin on it.
You got yourself a treasure hunt.
And yeah, that'll be it for now. At least for the weapons. We can pick up a synaptic vessel. And we don't need any of those at the moment.
Off you go then. Try not to die.
So we can improve our efficiency. That'd be nice. So now we need 2 synaptic vessels in order to make them to further boost the efficiency. Now we can fast travel around. We will actually jump to the Mushroom Village really quick to finish out that that little event. And then we will end this episode. So we come back over here to where those hunter merchants were. Aha. There we go. I had not actually progressed the event. So now if we rest, the event should progress. Yep. So now all the hunters are dead. The Grisha pup gives us a glimpse, and we can fight the Grisha matron for another Grisha remnant, but I am not going to do that. So we can head back to the beacon once again. We can rest. And now there should be, indeed there are, some mushrooms. Very nice. So once again, we will head back to the beacon, and we are going to jump back on over to the Widow's Overlook. In order to progress our journey next time. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and if you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And hopefully, I will see you next time.